turn it. Look.
I'll put some grease rags and
Watch the knot.
later.
Well, when we see our
There it
buddies trying
turns.
to pick up girls,
As I'm
or
turning
even
it,
really just
it's
talking to
moving.
it's funny. I'm glad they
I
found
can
a girl
adjust
that
it.
they can't
If I
talk
turn
to
it
try
this
and pick
way,
up,
it
but
moves
it's
up.
hilarious.
So I can adjust how the end of the knock of the arrow sits.
Thank you, ladies. Great to
And
meet
it's
you.
just,
What's the purpose?
He's a character.
With things going well, bam.
Well, why does it make it better?
Might be a good idea to throw in
Because
an invitation and let them know they would be okay if they
sometimes,
wanted
like,
to come check out
you
our
want the
site.
arrow like this.
Maybe next week or something.
Sometimes you want the arrow a little higher. If you shoot 3 under, look at me.
Yes.
They'll probably have
If
the
you shoot
back of
3
a few
under,
of ours mind while we're out there working
it's
on
better to
our
have
house.
the arrow a
And we
little bit
drop the
higher when
invitation,
you
we'll just see
pull.
what happens.
But
The
you can
boys
adjust,
would love
like,
to stay
sometimes when you
longer,
shoot the arrow,
but they
it'll
need to head
porpoise.
home
That's because of the
before
knock
dark.
height
Well,
adjustment.
ladies, have a nice
If it's
day.
too low, it might shoot up. Too high,
Call me.
I can adjust that now. I can turn that.
Can you make it thicker?
What do you mean, this?
Or is it
Well, I would
the
say
thickness
that Dane
is...
Huna
Yeah, I
was
can make it
also
thicker.
the
This was a
Dane.
prototype
I would say
run.
I could ask for that much more.
I'm
Pizza,
just asking a
goals,
question.
It's ingenious, though. It
It is
literally,
ingenious.
feel this. Feel it. Feel the serving. See how all the individual coils?
Coming up,
Picture all these coils
Madeline out to Browntown
similar
for
to
visits. We're going to be swimming with the fish.
and later,
a screw.
How long have you had Mr. Cupcake?
Look at
How
the
has
screw.
he enjoyed
Yeah.
life
Feel the
in
screw.
Browntown? Leave him alone.
See it?
Tear him in half.
Yeah.
See all the coils on the screw, the threads?
Yeah.
Same idea.
Today we're going
So,
to learn
you know how
how to
you'd
make
screw a
the
nut,
mushroom and Swiss cake.
And the nut will go down, or you can back it up, it will
elbows
go up.
off the table.
It's the exact same
You
idea.
don't have to look like
So
you're
I
flying.
can
The new mushroom and Swiss
turn
cake
this,
with a half-pound
and I
of
can
beef,
adjust the
sauteed
height of
mushroom,
it.
and crispy bacon, as big as it is fancy. Only at Burger King.
Just like you'd screw
Just
a nut on
by
a screw.
turning it.
Just by turning it.
Every
That's
team trains
Conventional
hard.
brass knocks, you can't do that. You need to get,
Every team prepares to
Wait,
win.
I want to... Oh.
you need to get
So you
these.
can move it up.
You gotta get these knock pliers, and then you have to crimp it, uncrimp the brass knock, slide it, and then recrimp it. I don't need that. This is a toolless adjustment. I can just turn it, and thread it up or down the serving as much as I'd like.
/team.
Very nice.
Bring 3 things
When
with
did
me
this
to a
pop
desert
in your
island.
head?
Easy, hearty, satisfying.
How did this
snuggets
happen?
Of Hannibal rods, minis,
I was thinking
and
about it
honey-grated
today at
twists.
lunch, and it kind of like
What?
popped in my
My
head a
choices
little.
didn't have to all be pretzels.
And then I was like
Oh,
trying
I
to like
know.
theoretically make it seem like it would sound. It was a sound theory. And then I like realized how I time my serving and stuff. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, all right, well the serving wraps around and it's angled, but it's also like threaded almost like a screw. So I'm like, if I tie
Make a distraction. I'm gonna go out there. Here we go. You got this.
a knot in the same direction as that, I could thread it. So basically I tied this the same way I finished my serving with an over-under knot, and at the end I fit it through and tightened it. And I also realized too that no matter how hard I pull, it will not slip, because
Have you tried an
basically
arrow on it?
I made this the same thing as what a nut would be on a screw. So I could pull as hard or push as hard as I want, it doesn't move. Yet I can thread it, turn it, and it goes. Just like a screw, just like a nut on a screw.
Not the biggest.
Have you tried an arrow on it?
No, but I know it will work. It's just the arrow just sits underneath it.
Maybe
This is
we'll
just a
try tomorrow.
Yes, this is just a reference point as to where you knock your arrow. But a lot of times when you're tuning an arrow and you if you're tuning an arrow and you shoot, if you get porpoising, a lot of times that has to do with your knock height. So if it's off, boom, I can just thread it down a little, fire another shot, see how it goes. If it's off a little more,
Looking for something to watch?
I can just
With
thread it a
Fandango
little
now,
bit
you
more,
can
and
instantly
I can
watch
do
over
it,
50,000 movies
set
and
the
TV
knock height
shows at
until it's
home or on the
perfect,
go.
and
Check
then
out
you
what's
need
new.
the tools.
Any
So it's
advice on
basically
how
a
to
toolless
adopt
design.
it?
It will never slip because it's.
You've never seen this before?
I have not. I've seen tied on knot points where people just do simple square knots, tie, 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 and then tie, tie, tie. But actually very ugly. But this is coiled, and it's coiled in the same direction as the serving goes. So it rides on it as if the whole serving is a bolt, and that's a nut.
So what made you
Make
think of
dinner
this?
time, device
And I was
free.
just thinking in my head at lunch today, and I'm like
A
trying to
smarter
find
way to
different ways of
Wi-Fi
tying
is
on
awesome.
knocks. I'm like
Introducing
watching videos of
Xfinity
square knots, and I've done that before, and
Amazing
it works, but you have to make sure it's like
coverage and
perfect
control.
because you can't adjust it.
Change
So I was
the way
thinking
you
about
Wi-Fi.
coiling serving string, and I'm like thinking if I coil it the same direction as that and tighten it,
Now,
ultimately it will
this
create
is TrueCore.
the same effect as a nut on a bolt, and I can just turn it.
Going through.
It's one of those things. I'm not a very smart person, but every now and then I have like things pop in my head movies,
All new Alaskan bush
and it
people
popped in, and it's solid as a rock because it will not slip. The only way it will move is if it's turned. It will not slip up and down at all because it's locked on there.
Okay, we had this on your question.
Just one of the things I thought up in my head.
Out to
Good job.
for a visit.